saying, God, I've tried everything, and sadly I used him as my last resort, kind of, in a way, because it didn't come to my mind first to be like, hey, you know, give this to God. So anyway, that's what I did, and lo and behold, here I am today, happy, blessed, thriving, and it is truly because I just allowed God to have his way. Hello YouTube, Simply Cece here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming with a motivational Monday, but I'm gonna do it a little different. We're gonna do it more vlog style today, just to try something a little different. So I'm gonna sit down and talk to you guys a little bit. Let me find somewhere I want to sit. We're gonna just sit right here at our dining room table. Okay, so just to start off, I want to kind of touch base a little bit on what this Motivational Monday is going to be about. And it's going to be about doing things that you always dreamed about doing, always. And I'll go a little bit into a little bit of my own testimony. I'm holding my phone, so sorry if it's wobbly. And I'm trying to be quiet because I just put the baby down. But yeah, it's about basically going after things you dream about. And I want to go a little bit in depth on my depression and anxiety, just a little bit, and why this is so important to me to share with you guys. So as some of you may know, and if not, I fell into really, really deep depression and really bad anxiety about 4 years ago now. And at that time, I was just in a really, really low spot in my life. I've always had a relationship with God, but I didn't really know him, not like I know him now. And a lot of it is due to my experience with my depression and my anxiety that really caused me to surrender everything I thought I knew, to really surrender my life, to really surrender my plans and my methods of handling things. Because I was so broken, I was in such a low spot, and I was so discouraged and depressed and so down. It was like nothing mattered at all. And so I realized, as I felt like I was coming to the end of my rope and the end of my hope, I didn't have anything to lose by just trusting God and really, really basically almost putting him to the test, saying, God, I've tried everything. And sadly, I used him as my last resort, kind of, in a way, because it didn't come to my mind first to be like, hey, you know, give this to God. So anyway, that's what I did. And lo and behold, here I am today, happy, blessed, thriving. And it is truly because I just allowed God to have his way. I just let go of what I thought I knew about life. I let go of what I thought was best for myself, even my family, my daughter at the time, and I still do that till this day. And so that brings me to why I'm on here today to share with you about doing things that you've always dreamed about. One thing I learned as I came out of my depression and anxiety was that we only get one life, you guys, one. And one of the questions I had asked God in the midst of my anxiety and depression was, well, I didn't even ask God this question. It was more so I asked myself. In the Bible, it talks about how God will supply every single one of our needs. Jesus himself told the disciples that God is aware of the things we need before we ask. And then he told us to pray in the example that he gave in Matthew. I believe it's out of Matthew. And I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong. And when you pay attention to the prayer he gave, it wasn't about any of his needs. It was more so about protecting him, delivering us from evil, and forgiving us of our sins, and so on and so forth. But I realized Jesus wasn't praying for a roof over his head, and he wasn't praying for food to eat that night. He was just praying for God to do the things that he couldn't do, really, when you think about it. So I'd ask the question, then I was like, well, why do we as people spend majority of our lives trying to supply our needs? Just take a minute and think about that for a moment. Like, at least for me, my whole focus in life was, you know, get a job, get a career, make money, start a wonderful family. make sure you make enough money to provide for your family, and so on and so forth. And it was just like a question like, well, why do most of us spend our lives focusing on our needs and the things that are necessities in life? And so that just was my first question, and I realized I was kind of living my life driven by the wrong things. I was living my life driven off of thinking I need to completely take care of myself. And God has let us know in his word that that's not true. So fast forward here today, actually not till today, but at the end of last year, I came across a fitness woman. I came across her documentary watching YouTube videos, and it was just inspirational to me, and I loved her transformation, and it was amazing. Granted, her journey was more so about losing weight and getting in shape, and so I didn't have the same exact issues because I've always been a thin girl, but I wanted to be really fit. And she had said something in the documentary about being strong and how she loved that now she had a very strong body. And I was thinking, man, I've never experienced that in my life. I am 33 years old, and so at the time I was 32. And I was thinking, you only get one life. Why don't you start working out? And why don't you try to build the body you've never seen yourself in, basically? So that brings me to our video today. On this vlog, I want to encourage you to think about those things that you dream about and realize that nothing's truly stopping you. First and foremost, let me add, if it is not sinful in God's sight, if it is not something God is against, there is no reason for you to not do it and pursue that thing. I believe that God puts things on our hearts for a reason, because, you know, even though we're here in life and we don't necessarily have to fight for a roof over our head and food to put in our bellies, because God has promised that he would take care of us. And of course that comes with us being obedient to him and relying on him. God is not a magic wand that we can just wave around when things get bad and then we say, okay, God, make it all better because you're almighty and you're amazing. No, God has requirements and expectations for us. And I've said it before in other videos, and I realize that these promises are for everyone. Everyone that is obedient to God, that is. So, anyway, I was like, let's do this. So I want to tell you guys, go after those things. The only thing stopping you, if it is not sinful, is yourselves. If you only get one life, you have to really wrap your mind around it. God has us here for a purpose. And I've learned through God that not only does he have us here for a purpose, but he also has us here to enjoy ourselves in a way that is wonderful. When we go to eternity, I believe with everything in me that we will be enjoying ourselves, that we will not be standing still. God has already put on my heart that we will not be robots. We will still maintain our free will to do as we please. And, you know, God has shared with me why that is so important for us to learn how to conduct ourselves here on earth, so that in heaven we can conduct ourselves properly. He takes this time now to prepare us to be with him in eternity. But with this life, God says that I have benefits for you, and I have things that you can obtain even now. You don't have to wait for everything on the other side. And Mercy Me sings a song that says heaven is here, and I love that song because he talks about how we don't have to wait for everything in eternity. We know that that's going to be wonderful, but there are so many blessings God has here for us on earth right now, and grab a hold of those things. So I want to tell you to do that. You know, every day we live our lives, we move closer to the end of our lives, and what are you waiting for? Don't be afraid. Don't wait for somebody to roll out a map for you to get to your destiny, or to finally pursue that thing that has been pulling at you for so long. Go for it and start making little steps towards it. I'll share this real quick before I get off of here. I started writing my first novel 8 years ago. I haven't talked much about it, and I kind of want to put it out there, but it might even be longer. It may be close to 10 years ago now. I've had the desire to write since I was probably somewhere between 13 and 15 years old. And that hasn't left me. I've loved to read. I realized I love to read around that time too. And around that time, I started reading lots and lots of books. I was so in love with them. My mom used to take us to the library every couple of weeks so we could get new books. And I really loved going to the library, and I loved the endless amount of books there were, and the creativity. I don't know, just the fantasies you can go on in a book. Not only that, but the way books can help you grow and are very knowledgeable and informative. So I love books. And then I realized with that love of books came also a desire to write my own. So I started, like I said, 10 years ago. And I took off for a very long time from writing. And when I went through everything and just not knowing what I was going to do with it, if I'm honest, I have started at least 3 novels so far in my life. None of them are complete, although one is very, very close, and I'm focusing on finishing that one this year. But I have like several ideas that I've already jotted down. I probably got ideas for about 5 or 6 novels already. And so anyway, I realized I wanted to write, but then I was like, here recently I got to this place where I was like, but God, I don't know anything about publishing. I don't know anything about, you know, copyright. I don't know that stuff. So it kind of made me hesitant, because it's like, okay, you write this book, where are you going to go with it? What are you going to do next? And I didn't have a clue. And I talked to God about it. And only thing he gave me was keep writing your books, keep writing them. So I kept writing them. I thought about throwing them away at one point. And my husband even asked me, because he knows that I love to write, and he was like, are you going to keep them? And I was like, yeah, like a part of me wanted to throw them away, but I couldn't. And so, wow, like this year, I've met 2 ladies that have published books that are very close to me. I didn't know that they did anything with books. I didn't even know they enjoyed writing, but one of them was my client, who is now, who's someone I consider a friend now. Hey, Frankie, if you ever watch my videos. And one of them is one of my spiritual sisters, and her name is Aisha. And hey, Aisha, if you ever see this video too. But I was just having a random conversation with Frankie, and I told her finally about my books. And I've been doing Frankie's hair probably almost 10 years now. And I told her about my books, and I was like, but I don't know what to do. And she was like, oh, I've published 3 books. And I'm like, what? And, you know, it just came back to me when God was like, just keep writing your books. And then my spiritual sister, she just put out her first book this year that I've read and I promoted. Her book is called I Was That Girl. It's a really good read. It's deep, it's kind of heavy, but it's such a beautiful motivational piece, because I know for a fact that what she had endured is not something that we're not very familiar with. So it's a great book if you want to read it. And I'll probably link it down in the description if you want to check her book out. But so I come across 2 ladies that have published books, and I was just like, wow. And when I first had talked to my client, Frankie, she was like, I'll tell you everything I did. And it's just confirmation that when God puts something on your heart, to keep going after it, even when you don't really know how it can be accomplished. Here I sit, I'm still unpublished. I still haven't finished my book, but God is showing me that if I pursue it, He is making a way for me. And so since He has revealed to me these 2 wonderful ladies in my life, and they have inspired me, both of them have, to go ahead and finish my novels now, knowing that they were in the same place as me at some point, didn't know how they were going to do it, but they just finished the book and they did it. So I'm I'm very, very inspired to finish mine, and now I'm on top of it like no other. And I will have my book done before the end of the year, by the end of the year at the latest. And I will let you guys know all about that if you're interested in reading it or anything like that. And I'm just saying, go after your dream. God will lead you in the places that you are unfamiliar with, and you are not informed. He will create a clear pathway for you if you trust Him. So I want you guys to be motivated today. Go after those things. Be something you've never been before. See yourself a way you've never seen yourself, and do something that you've always wanted to do, guys. I love you guys. As always, stay blessed, stay motivated, and stay very, very close to God. I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.